Okay, so now let's talk about really good quality ingredients, and first of all the cost of really good ingredients. What I've got here is a pellet that we're making ourselves, and I'm feeding this to my horses. It's not a commercial product as yet, but it is something that we're thinking that is needed in Australia. So this type of pellet is a herbal one. It's got ingredients that we have found to be of great benefit to horses' well-being. There is absolutely no fillers in it. We haven't put a premix in it. We don't want to put a premix in it because what we want to do is try and work on the nutritional diversity in a horse's diet, which should be high in forage and then very small amounts of peak nutrition. So peak nutrition to me is something that is a concentrated form, but it's got to be in a natural form. It's got to be like a superfood. So if you like, what I'm wanting to feed is a superfood that will just add that extra dynamic process to the digestive system, as well as get those essential vitamins and minerals that the animal needs. What's fascinating to me when I think about vitamin and minerals and what is, what the conventional science says, and this is where you'll get loggerheads and discussions. What is an appropriate level of vitamin and mineral? Well, there is definitely two schools of thought. You've got the, and I'll use the analogy of superphosphate, because this is how farmers have farmed in Australia, and they've degraded the land because of using superphosphates and of course overgrazing. So superphosphate, as everybody knows, seemed to be the magic thing back in the 70s and 60s and 70s, and everybody was putting super out on their land. And what ended up happening was they then got great big yields immediately. So this is what will happen if you've got a horse that you start giving a premix to. You might get an instant bloom. That's pretty normal, because there is deficiencies there. But once you've got that deficiency corrected, the body is pretty well self-sustaining, and we can just come in underneath that and then just forget about adding extra vitamins and minerals. We can just use something that's organic, where the body can be maintained long term. Now, I call that composting. So it's like a composting process in the digestive system. You need very little of a good ingredient, a quality ingredient, to get that result. And don't forget that the microbiome is in of itself its own vitamin and mineral manufacturing plant. So the fermentation process within the gut of a horse itself will actually produce enzymes, vitamin B12, any number other of amino acids that might be lacking in the diet, which is why horses thrive on very poor ground. And you'll find that in Australia, the horses that are suffering are the ones on the rich soil with the rich pasture. The ones that tend to do best are the ones just on the most native pastures, the poorest pastures that just have seasonal access to the cycles of seed heads coming up, where they graze on those occasionally for their coach. We'll go up and see my mares in a minute who are accessing a natural pasture as well as a little bit of improvement, which is just residual from on this farm. But you will find that that's all they really need. So I just wanted to talk about the superfood. Again, this is purely for horses that are in different situations. They're not out in pastures so much. They are performance horses, so this is why we want to supplement feed. And I understand that we need to supplement feed in those situations. So let's have a breakdown now of what that diet might look like.